welcome to Chef Grace's Place. Today we have a special guest, AJ from the Food DEE, which is quite clever because it's the food and then DEE. He's got a great channel, but he also has a book out called My Odyssey about his weight loss journey, but it's a cookbook, which I thought was a great idea because if you're reading that, you probably want to lose some weight, and then you got all the recipes to do it. The first video I saw of yours was actually the ice cream Vitamix video, and I was like, that's genius. But then I was also jealous because I want a Vitamix so bad.
Who doesn't?
For you guys who don't know what a Vitamix is, it's like a professional commercial kitchen blender. Basically, like all really professional kitchens have a Vitamix, and the blender, the motor in it is so powerful that like you can make really like silky smooth sauces. We used to make a hollandaise sauce in it in one of the kitchens I worked in because it just blends things so well. But I wanted to interview you because I wanted to know about how you got started and how you came up with the idea for the book and what made you decide, hey, I probably should get a handle on my weight and all that fun stuff.
So how I got started. So I used to be very overweight in high school. Like most of my life I was overweight. And I just eventually just wanted to get a girlfriend, I guess, at one point, and said I need to lose weight. Shockingly sad as that is. Girls are shallow when you're kids, right? No
I don't know, I'm still pretty shallow.
No offense to any girls out there who are not, but so I need to lose weight, and on top of that, it was health reasons. I wanted to, get in shape, and I lost weight years ago. Like we're talking like 15 years ago. I lost a lot of my weight. I became a personal trainer. I went to cooking school. I did nutrition. I did it all, and I started doing like fighting, like MMA style stuff, and like got really lean. Like we're talking like 180 pounds from like 300. Like,
so you're from I don't know if you know this, but I started doing jiu-jitsu when I was like 12 years old. So you're familiar with like having to cut weight and all that fun stuff too?
I did amateur wrestling for a good 5 years, I guess 6 years, throughout college and high school.
Okay, so you're very familiar with the yo-yo, with like your weight going up.
Yeah, 100%. And then like, it's not only the yo-yoing. I was also, so when I wrestled, I wasn't really lean then. I was still pretty big. Surprisingly, you think I'd lose weight. But I'm from the east coast of Canada, called Newfoundland, a place called Newfoundland, and they don't eat very healthy. Like we eat like pretty bad foods. We're talking like deep fried foods, like salt foods, like everything just high calories. But I had very good cardio when I used to wrestle. So like my opponents would underestimate me. So I go in and I'd outlast them in a match. For some strange reason, I had really good cardio, even though I was like almost 300 pounds. So I don't know.
That's interesting. And how tall are you?
Sorry?
How tall are you?
I'm 5'8", I think, last time I checked.
Okay, so like almost 300 pounds is like a lot it's a lot for someone taller, but.
Like, I don't know if you see my picture there before I started losing my weight again. So to get me back to where I was too, I lost all my weight, and then I moved to Alberta, Canada, and gained a lot of my weight back because I had a surgery. I had my gallbladder removed.
Hold on. Alberta, so originally you were in Newfoundland?
And I moved to Alberta, which is like the typical Newfoundlander will move from Newfoundland to Alberta in Canada.
I don't know where Alberta is.
Like the prairies, middle. We're mountain time. How about
that? Okay, so typical American, doesn't know geography. Okay, so Newfoundland to Canada. Wait.
So Newfoundland to Alberta, Canada.
Okay. And that was after high school?
So after high school, I was cooking for a couple of years in Newfoundland, and I decided I got the travel bug. I wanted to travel. So I ended up going to Alberta. A couple of my friends moved out here. And I had to get surgery when I came out here. The first couple of months I was here, I had to get my gallbladder removed. Lots of years of like not eating healthy developed apparently gallstones, and Had to get it removed. So what happened was I had to get surgery, and that stopped me from exercising and working out. And I gained a ton of weight because I just started eating whatever because I didn't care at the point. I got out here, I was just recovering. I was just eating ice cream. I was eating nachos. I was meeting new friends. I was being social. Never really like my exercises kind of got put on the back burner because for the longest while I couldn't even do a sit up because the way they went in and took out the gallbladder.
Yeah, my mom actually had that done, and she still got some problems with it because when you when you don't have your gallbladder anymore, the bile just like empties out into your intestines. So I mean,
It's not fun.
it's not fun. It takes a long time to I just got a beer delivery. That's always nice.
Mine.
But
take my diet, didn't care.
But sorry, I got distracted. But yeah, it takes forever to recover from that surgery. I mean, any surgery in your abdomen, you know.
Yeah.
Twist and
Yeah, even sitting up from like sleeping was like a chore at night. If you want to like turn over or something, that was painful. But either way, my exercise, I guess I stopped exercising completely. I was eating food. I was, meeting people and trying to, be social. And with literally, it happened within like 6 months, I gained all my weight back. It's crazy how fast it came back.
wow.
So I've been having this weight for the last like 6 years. Like I gained all this weight and held it for 6 years. And then my doctor was like, you need to get rid of your weight or we can't help you anymore because your blood pressure is too high. Like you're on medication and it's still going up. And that was kind of what like sparked me. I was like, okay, I've done this before. Why can't I just need to get back to it. And the biggest thing for me was just controlling how much I was eating. Like I used to overeat easily. And it's not like I like binge eat. It was like I would just eat higher calorie foods and like multiple servings of it. So I wasn't sitting there like gorging my face. I would just have like pieces of cheesecake throughout the course of a day, and or I'll have like high calorie dense foods is what I was eating, and not like focusing on
no nutrition in it, no vitamins.
Yeah, that's just not like nachos. A plate of nachos, like that's 2,000 calories. But you have that for supper, but you also have breakfast that day too, right? If your breakfast was like, if you were like, I was busy, so I was eating takeout for breakfast. It was McDonald's, and that's another 600-700 calories on top of the 2,000 calorie nachos I had that night, and then whatever snacks or lunch I had throughout the day. So you're looking at a 4,000 calorie diet, which was, my base metabolic, like what I like for me not to gain weight, just to maintain is about 2,000. So I'm doubling my calorie intake every day for 6 months.
Yeah, I mean,
and then when I hit that amount, that's where I stayed at my weight. My weight stayed where it was too, but it never went up. It stayed at like almost 300 pounds. So I was like, I need to fix this. And I needed to just trick my body and think I was still eating the delicious foods I was eating, because it's hard. I don't care what anyone else, it's hard to go from eating super dirty foods to dirty foods, but like unhealthy foods to like super healthy foods.
It is, but also I think people just like, I feel like you can't go from like one extreme to the other because it's got to be a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
It can't just be like, I'm going to lose all this weight and then, because you will gain it back if you don't change your whole lifestyle.
And the first time I lost my weight, it was actually because I was working at a restaurant as a chef. So this would be before the gallbladder, when I was out of high school, out of cooking school, still big. I was working at a Greek restaurant. I lost all my weight from working there and just eating their food. That's kind of what got me on the track to lose weight originally.
Oh, yeah, because I mean, Mediterranean diet is healthy and delicious.
Like Greek food is super healthy. Like I have a Greek salad every day. Like and I eat the same thing every day because where I was running the restaurant, I had free food. Like I didn't have time to go home and cook. So to me, I was just grabbing fast food. But this was like salad, like Greek salads and like chicken breast with some rice and a bit of pita sometimes and like tzatziki, not mayonnaise. Like it was really healthy foods. And so my calories from working working in a restaurant, you're on your feet all day long. And I'm opening and closing this place and then having 2 or 3 meals like that a day. I lost all my weight that way. And then that's what kind of sparked me to the fitness of like working out and then like, doing the wrestling and MMA stuff that, the path I went down that before I moved to Calgary. But this time though, when I went to lose the weight, I'm not on my feet every day. I'm not in the food industry like I was. You know, I do food photography, I do videography. Like I
How
don't
did you
do this
transfer
anymore.
from being in the kitchen like that to what you're doing now?
It's an interesting thing. Um, I love food. I love being in the restaurants when I did it. It's not something I wanted to get old doing, like being there all the time, because I just know so many stories of people there till 60 and they're still working to, they're working to death.
Yeah, I always
And
say
I,
you have to figure out how to work to live and not live to work.
yeah, and then I love food inside out. So I need to come up with a way to, be around food, and like I love creating new dishes. I love cooking for people. And the easiest way to do that was started with food photography. My wedding photographer has seen a few of my pictures. She's like, you should start an Instagram. I was like, okay, well, I'll do it. I'll go out and showboat my food.
And
So
what year was this? Like when?
this
How
was
long ago?
like 3 years ago.
3 years ago? Okay.
Yeah. So I was cooking up till roughly around then. So um, so I started an Instagram account. And next thing you know, I'm getting people asking me to do their photos for their food, like restaurants and like different companies. I'm like, this is cool. And then that's kind of sparked me. It's like, I need to do YouTube too. Why not? Let's go all in.
Yeah, why not? That's awesome.
So that's how I
So
got transitioned. So I'm technically still in food industry in a different kind of way. And I like teaching people how to cook. Like my channel, I love doing that. Like it's one of my passions.
yeah, it comes through in the video. Like you're a very good teacher. I like the way you
Thank you.
do it. And you're explaining things and stuff. Although,
Yeah. When I'm saying stuff, it's probably recorded 16 times because I'm on my mic and I'm like saying it and I'm tongue twisting and I speak fast. And that's the hardest thing. I need to slow down. And then when I slow down on the videos, you can hear my voice, like you can hear it. You hear I'm trying to slow it down.
I do that all the time, and like I don't know about you, but it's like my brain is talking faster than my mouth, so the words get like mushed together.
Yep, that's me. There's people all the time.
And I was just like,
They're like, you need to slow down. I'm like, I'm trying so hard to slow down when I'm talking. But it's also like my culture. We all speak really fast. Like
I think
in
the more like even I moved from New Jersey to Florida a while ago, and I probably speak it slower now, but I think it's just like the farther north you get, the faster you talk because it's cold and we're ready to go inside. We gotta get this done.
right? And like I'm like speaking pretty slow. There's times like I get like Newfoundland, we have an accent.
Yeah, I
Um,
hear it. I hear it.
I've toned it down. It used to be really bad where people were like they don't understand. Like we also have our own little slang words that like no one understands.
Like what?
This is the most common one. Stay where you're at till I get to your two.
I don't even know what you just said.
Exactly.
What?
Stay where you're at till I get to your two.
Till I get here too?
Stay where you're at till I get to where you're two.
Oh. Till I get to where you two, like where you are too?
Yeah, you got it. A lot of people
Okay.
think they don't understand that one. They're like, what? Or like, what are you at is another Newfoundland slang term that we use back home.
What are you at?
What are you at?
That's like American go, where are you at?
No, what are you at? What are you doing?
Oh.
Like, what are you at? What are you up to? Like, what are you at?
Wait, so
Uh,
is the other one like literally stay where you are until I get there? Or is
yeah,
it
that's literally what
okay?
that one is.
Okay.
Or like, there's other ones like, how you getting on?
Like how
Or
you
like,
doing?
how you getting on? How you doing? Yes, bye. Like, what? Really? Right?
Yes, bye. Like bye?
Yes, bye. No, yes, bye. Yes, bye is like, how do I describe this? Like, wow, like right on, like even right on's a Newfoundland slang. Like you're just like, wow, you're like, that's
Yes,
good.
bye.
Yes, bye.
That's
Like
it.
here's an example. So I got a new girlfriend. Yes, bye. Right on. That's something we would say.
That's cool. Oh man, I want to go to Newfoundland.
Newfoundland's like the Ireland of Canada.
The Ireland of Canada. Actually, I was it does the accent is a little similar. That's interesting. So it's
You
more
should on the like west coast of Newfoundland. We're an island, right? So they got even like a deeper slang, like a really deep accent. which I can mimic, but I don't really speak it a lot.
It's like, that's so funny. I love accents.
And then like my wife is like, you should have your whole accent on while you're doing your videos. I'm like, then no one would understand what I'm saying. Only the Newfoundlanders.
You could do like a special Newfoundland dish and like
I'm thinking about doing that.
that would be
But
cool.
I don't think it'll get a lot of views. Newfoundland food's very different.
I don't, it might.
Like, what,
Everyone in Newfoundland would watch it.
right?
And
Mm,
then I think part of being a foodie is also being an explorer because you learn about different cultures and people through their food. So if you like
mhm,
food, you like people. So it
mhm.
might work.
Maybe I'll try Newfoundland food. One or two dishes, you know. Don't want to scare people too much.
I don't know. To me, it always just kind of looked like similar to like Scandinavian, like
Uh,
where it's a lot of
it's closer to Irish food because that's where a lot of the traditions come from.
really
Yeah, so we got like our boiled cabbage, our potatoes, our salt beef, like
a lot of boiled stuff. I feel like the Irish food now is, just like kind of like that whole part of the world in the colder climates. They've kind of gone through like a food renaissance recently. So I feel like it because when I was a kid, I'm half Irish, so the traditional Irish food is just like boil it until it's done.
that's Newfoundland food. Right, like literally our jigs dinner. We call it a jigs dinner. It's boiled potatoes, cabbage, and salt beef and carrots. Boiled.
Yeah, it's
Like
gross.
that's it.
So I feel like now they realize, their quality of ingredients, and then they take those indigenous ingredients and showcase them by not just boiling them to death, you know, because those corned beef and cabbage like every St. Patrick's Day just was like I
That's
hated.
that's every Sunday back
It.
home.
Oh god, the smell. It wasn't even the flavor; it's just the smell.
My wife hates it. She can't. She hates the jigs dinner. Like he can't stand it. Like we went home there a couple of weeks ago to Newfoundland, and my mom was like, when do you want jigs dinner?" I was like, "Well, we'll just wait for Shannon to go back home, and then we'll cook it up."
Oh man. So is it? Did you get in? Because you named your book My Odyssey. So is
So
that like a nod to your Greek cooking, or?
yeah, it's that, and Odyssey's like a journey, right?
Yeah.
So it's a journey I went down for my weight loss, and the reason, honestly, the reason I made the cookbook is everyone kept asking me what I did, and I'm like, here, I'm gonna put it down once and come read it.
No, I think that's great because you don't see many people. I mean, you see people like losing weight and stuff, but like you do it like old school, like diet and exercise. Like
Like
you can
you,
do it.
what clicked was like when you put your dog on a diet, what do? You give it less food.
I think that Neil Tyson Degrassi, you know who that is? He's like the astrophysicist. He's like a black guy with a huge mustache and a fro. Um, he's kind of like the NASA spokesperson. But anyway, he was talking. I don't know. I think it was on his YouTube channel or something. They were talking about weight loss for some reason, and because he's overweight, he's not like in the best shape, but he was like, it's very simple. You put in less calories than you take out, and then you lose weight.
It's a secret to weight loss. It's literally the secret,
Yeah,
but it's
that's
not
the
easy.
secret.
It's easier said than done. It's really hard to do, especially when you got all these like super refined foods that are designed to make us want to eat more of them.
Yeah, I think um, like growing up, I just ate like really, really processed food, and then when I moved to Philadelphia, I to go to college, I I purchased a CSA, which is a community share agriculture. I don't know. There's probably similar things in Canada, but you buy you. The hard part is you have to pay money up front. So it's like it was like it was almost $500 like up front, but then you get a crate of fresh vegetables every week for like 6 months or something like that. So
And
when
you
you
really like that.
Oh, so you're purchasing a share of the farmer's harvest, basically, with the money up front. So it
Maybe there
ensures,
is.
probably.
I don't know anyone who's done it, but maybe there is. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I went from eating like super processed food to starting culinary school and then learning how to cook the food. And then I was just getting all like the crate, it was like too much food. So that's like all I was eating. I was eating that and like some eggs from the farmer's market, like and meat from the in Philadelphia, the Amish people, which are, do you know what Amish people are? Like Amishes?
I know who they are. Yeah.
Okay. For the listeners, I'm sure this is common knowledge, but it's just like this group of people that it's kind of like a religious cult thing to me, but they live without modern technology. So they like farm. They don't use cars or anything. Like they come around in like a horse and buggy and stuff. It's crazy, but they bring all their stuff to the market to sell everything they grow and their livestock and stuff. So we get eggs from them and meat from them. We got a goat, which is also delicious. But so I went from super processed to eating like, like literally farm to table. So, and I couldn't. It was just crazy to me how much better I felt. Like, it was like I could think more clearly, and also I just had all this energy. Like I would wake up and I'd be like, "Let's go." But then I would eat, like if I ate a processed food, like I love Milano cookies, and I could eat a whole bag. But back then, like once I was eating like that, if I had like one and a half of those cookies, I was like, how did I eat a whole bag? Like I'm full. So I think like once you get your body used to eating well, it like doesn't crave sugar like that I used
No,
to.
it's true. It's totally true.
Because now I definitely crave sugar, and you know, I'm at this point I'm like, whatever, I gotta do what I gotta do. Because with everything that's going on right now, it's I need to make sure that I'm getting enough nutrients, but I also have to keep my costs down. So my diet is probably a little more carb heavy than it used to be, basically. So, but I'm paying for it in my acne, but we'll see.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. But anyway, the Odyssey. So I always go blank. Anyway. Newfoundland,
Um,
Odyssey. Food photography. Do you have any formal training in photography, or you just started doing it?
I grabbed my phone one day and just started taking pictures of it was an iPhone 4 I started with, taking food photography. So I've been doing it for a while, but I never really like did it professionally or did it as a career until recent, in the last couple of years. So I've always, like, if I go back through like my Google Photos and go right back, like there's food right up to like iPhone 4 came out. I'm huge. Like the name The Foodie is the reason I picked it. I love food and I've always loved food. Like when I was like what, 5 years old, I'd be in the kitchen with my grandmother helping her bake bread. Like my mom bought me cooking books when I was like 5, like little tight cooking books and stuff. I'm like, yeah, food's been like my whole life.
That's awesome.
So when it came to food photography, I literally just took pictures of food. There was no rhyme or reason to what I was doing. It was just I took a picture of the food and shared it to some friends or kept it for my own little viewing. But as I started to start an Instagram account, I started to research how to take better photos and how to control lighting and how to just do a better job overall with photography. And following a couple of YouTubers on how they do it, and practice. It really came down to practice. And everyone's like, what kind of camera do you use? I'm like, it really doesn't matter. There's times I've taken pictures with my phone. You can't tell I did it with my phone. People are like, well, what camera is that? I'm like, my phone. And they're like, no way.
Well, especially the newer iPhones, like it's really good. Like they're better than some cameras. I'm like,
they're way better. Like phones are like the cameras and phones are better for like inside night shots. Like if you're inside in the nighttime, like evening shots where it's lower light, like a DSLR just can't, like, it's there's a whole bunch of work to make it look as good because they don't have the HDRs. Like, you turn on the HDR plus on your iPhone and it gets just like 6 different shots and combines it to give the best exposure. So you're not like, it has a really good picture. You do that with like a DSLR camera, you have to take 6 pictures and then go edit them together and stitch them all together.
I just learned something.
Like for indoor shots, a lot of the times, like I'll just use my phone. If I'm at and then there's other times like I wouldn't give up my DSLR just for like this, like, would I though? Just being able to like change the lens and like the depth of field you can't get on a phone camera. Like getting that, like they're getting good at mimicking the blurred background, but there's like when it gets into the fine details, it's really they all struggle with it. Or like getting the bokeh, like when you get that bokeh and like light bulbs or something behind you, you don't get that nice round like blur effect. It's just blurred out. Like there's little things like that I noticed that you probably wouldn't notice because you're not really looking for that kind of stuff. But like if I'm out and that's all I have, I can do an amazing job with this phone. So when everyone's like, "What camera you use?" I'm like, just grab whatever you have and use it. And then like I think every YouTuber said it, just grab what you have and start doing it.
The thing with the phone, I wonder though, is because I was trying to make a like a budget video because I want to show people how to like cost out a recipe, so they can like actually figure out how much money they're spending on their monthly groceries. But the storage sucks. Like trying to shoot a video on your phone, I think the problem isn't the camera, it's running out of storage while you're doing it. So do you have like, is there such thing as like an external hard drive for a phone? Like what is that?
I mean, you can like, do I have it here? I have a little device that I can sync up to my phone and transfer all the data over to it.
As you're doing it, or you have to stop?
As I'm doing it. And then there's things like Canon, not Canon. Yeah, is it Canon? No, they don't have it. Scrap that idea. Other than that, like a bigger size phone, like it has bigger storage in it. Like really is your only escape from that, or uploading to the cloud right away, which takes time. Like I have a 128 gig phone. I don't really like mine deletes it as it backs it up. So I don't really run that issue unless I'm doing a long shoot. If you're recording in 4K, then yeah, you're gonna eat up a lot of data like really quickly.
Yeah.
On my phone, I bring it back down to 1080 just for saving space. Like I don't need to be shooting in 4K on my phone. Like everything I upload is 1080, and honestly, it's a lot of space. Like there's only so much space. I can't be buying hard drives every week to back up all my YouTube videos. I'm not that big yet where I can afford that, or be affording a cloud storage on that level.
Yeah, I mean, I got I don't know, the external hard drive I have is like a terabyte, and it was only like $15. So
Oh, really?
yeah, it's a really good one. And I found it, so my, I'll show it to you. So my mom is a nurse practitioner, and growing up, she was the director of student health at Fairleigh Dickinson University in Teaneck, New Jersey. And this must have been like early 2000s. She hired an Indian guy, Joel. He's probably listening to this, actually, him and his wife. So shout out to Joel. To do like all the tech stuff. He was like a foreign exchange student, basically. Not exchange. I just got, what do they call that? I don't know. I don't remember. There was a specific name for students that come from other countries to study at the university, but I don't remember what it was. But anyway, he's a genius, and he actually at one point he was the guy that programmed the. You ever like see a video of like the stock market, and you see all the numbers going across the screen and stuff? Like at one point, like that was his job, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure what he's up to right now, but yeah. So he would come over and fix my computer all the time, and one time my computer like back when you had like the towers or whatever, got some sort of like malware virus on it. But in order to like save all the pictures and stuff, he got this hard drive and just put everything on there. And so then he like started showing me like the like geek, like not geek but like techie guy like website where you get like the just like the kitchen. Like you could go to Williams Sonoma and buy like some fancy version of something that's going to cost you like $100, or you could go to the restaurant supply store and get the same thing for like $15. So it's pretty much like that kind of website. I think it was called New Egg. And
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, so it's a Seagate portable drive and it's $15. It works perfect, you know, and that might be the smallest amount of space. Like they have like ones that are like a couple terabytes. So I'm thinking next time, because I have a bunch of space left, but I'm thinking like next time I'll just buy like an even bigger one. Why not? So
Buy a couple redundancies, back them up.
yeah, is that what I should do?
Well, if one dies, then all your stuff's gone.
They could die.
Oh yeah, I've had hard drives fail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That what happens when recently I plugged in. It hasn't happened with the hard drive, but with the thumb drive that's got like the converter for the SD card and stuff, it's been saying like it's not formatted right or something. Is that part?
Yes, it's corrupting card. Yeah,
So is there any way to fix that?
maybe
Maybe.
we do a tech place.
I,
I usually go cut my losses and go, oh well. I always have that panic, and that's another reason these are good too. Is if it backs up directly to the cloud, like my Google Photos, everything I take on this within minutes is backed up. So even if that does die, or I lose it, I still have my photos. And I want to lead towards that backing up a lot of my stuff on the cloud, because then it's up there. They got redundancies in place, so you don't lose your data because it's their business. So if it's cost me a monthly fee, it's probably worth it, especially when I start getting a lot more data. Like I'm planning to up my the amount of videos I'm doing very soon. So I'm going to go through a lot of data really quickly, a lot of storage.
how much? What are you thinking?
What do you mean?
Like expansion wise, like how many videos we talking?
Doing about 1 a week right now. I probably want to go to the 3 is what I want to get to.
3.
Because I want I'm battling in the YouTube a monetization game right now. I've got the subscribers. I just need to get the watch times now.
Yeah, that's what actually was one of the factors that inspired me to do these interviews, because they're really long. So
But is your retention good on them though?
some of them, and even if it's not, like
I guess.
I go on my if I play it, it counts once, and then if like my boyfriend plays it,
That's
like
2 hours.
yeah, it's like 4 hours of stuff. So it's better than like a 10-minute video, you know?
True.
But actually, I really like doing the interviews. I might like it more than making the food stuff.
See, this is the part where you find out what you like doing and what you focus more on and what works. This is the fun part of YouTube, is the beginning.
Yeah.
What works best. If you look at some of my old videos, they're not very pretty.
Oh my God, my first videos are a mess.
And I left them up there for that reason. People can watch them. I don't care. It's how I started. Like if you look at my very first video, I think it's like how to cut, use your knife handling skills. It is so bad. I almost want to take it down, but I'm like, no, I'm just gonna leave it there.
I mean, I think that you should just leave it up, because
it just shows your story. If you go back through the videos, and I go back when I find a new YouTuber, I go back and check the early stuff. Let's see, how did you evolve? What's your story here? Because each YouTube channel is a story of the evolution of that creator.
Yeah, and I just think it gives other people hope too,
It
because
really does. Because some of them you watch, you're like, oh, That means one day I could probably get that big because he's about the same as I am. Or he's worse than I am right now.
Exactly. Yeah. It does give me hope.
You know what? Surprisingly though, out of all of it, voiceover my videos is the hardest thing I've done on YouTube. It's so hard to get that nailed like perfectly.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I don't know why. Like maybe it's your own worst critic. And you hear your voice, you're like, this just sounds bad. But like when like it's even when speaking and like doing a voiceover, like I have to like I stumble so much trying to do it. Like it's hard. Like sitting down watching your video and then voicing over to your video what you're doing. Like I tongue twist so many times.
I do tongue twist, but I guess I don't really do the voiceover while I'm sitting unless something goes wrong. Like,
And that's what kind of evolved me to start changing my opening and endings. Because it's hard to like I'm testing. So at the end of my videos, I try the food out. And it's hard to mimic like like redo it again. Like if you eat the food, it's like, oh, this is so good. That's what it like. It doesn't sound authentic.
yeah, that's why like in these interviews, I try to like I feel like some people get nervous because like I try to like not talk to you as much like before because I don't want you to tell me something really interesting about you and then me just be like, oh, okay. It's like my initial reaction is probably like, oh, that's so cool.
But yeah, that's the hardest thing I've ever had to do on YouTube I've found so far. And maybe it's what I'm changing slowly and I'll end up not voicing over. But I like the voiceover too because it makes the workflow easier too at the same time. Like if I make a mistake off camera, I don't have to redo the whole shoot again. I can just voice over what I said. And when I make a mistake, not a mistake on my food, but what I'm saying, because I can make a mistake. I'm not perfect. I'm human. I might say something wrong. I might say the wrong temperature, the wrong measurement. If I go back and while I'm editing that video and it's the wrong temperature, it's like, well, I can't go reshoot it. It's like 3 hours ago, or this is yesterday or a week ago I recorded this. But if I'm doing a voiceover when I'm doing it, I can catch myself then and there and fix it. So a big reason I do voiceover is just it makes my job of getting videos out easier.
Maybe I should try it. Because I do have that problem where I say something wrong and it's not like I think what was my other video? What was I doing? Oh, the focaccia. I said basil when it was clearly sage. Like,
Oh, with that said, I still messed up on voiceover and not realize it till my wife is like, you said that wrong. And I'm like, what? And you go back, you're like, what was it? It was it was with chicken. It was in my I think it was my chicken. It was for food poisoning. There was a food poisoning. It was I'm gonna say it wrong now because I'm trying to think of it. Salmonella. I said semolina. Like how I didn't and you're listening to it back and you don't even click that I said it wrong until she pointed it out. I was like, so I had to put a little note on the screen that the YouTube pop-up cards. I was like, actually what I meant to say.
Semolina. Oh my god.
But yeah, like so I'm not perfect there, but it's like when I first did videos, I never did voiceover, and it was actually really hard recording because I'd stop and have to re-say it because I'd mess up something, and it would take longer to get a video done doing it that way.
So, do you plan on just doing like, just keep going with the recipes, or do you think you might do like other foodie stuff, like going and like trying like food at a place or?
So I'm planning a trip to Greece next year. Well, it was supposed to be this year, so I'm planning to do like a little like vlog / documentary of my trip while I go over there because I'm gonna hit like Crete and all the little islands and little restaurant places, and I might do that. It's something I might do, but it depends on what the viewers like. If they don't like it, we'll know right away not to do that again. But I'm always up for trying things out that work, but it's something a little bit different. And again, the whole channel is called The Foodie, so it doesn't have just to be recipes for me. It could be anything involved food. It's going on a trip and trying out different restaurants. Maybe it's a trip back home to Newfoundland and going to a couple places and trying them out and showing different types of food we have there, opposed to the rest of Canada. Because we have some pretty unique food out there.
I believe it. Actually, like, and I don't know that much about Newfoundland. I know Trailer Park Boys are from Newfoundland.
The what?
The Trailer Park Boys? That's Newfoundland, right? No?
That's Nova Scotia. I
Yeah.
think. Pretty sure it's Nova Scotia. There.
Geography, Grace. You know I was a flight attendant?
Really?
Yeah. Obviously. Never went to that part of the world. Just Scandinavia and Europe mostly. I got to go to Thailand. That was cool. But
I mean, don't feel bad. Most of Canada doesn't know anything about Newfoundland, so.
for some reason I thought Nova Scotia was the term for like that whole area or something.
Maritimes is that term for the whole area. / sort of. Atlantic provinces is that whole area. Like the Maritimes, Atlantic.
Atlantic. I gotta look at a fucking map.
So we have like PEI, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia. I guess Cape Breton's part of Nova Scotia, but that's a little island. New Brunswick, that's another one.
There's a New Brunswick up there.
What?
There's a New Brunswick in New Jersey too. That's funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Home of Rutgers University.
I don't know what New Brunswick up here is home of.
Oh. Dog race. Dog race. So, okay, I'm gonna ask another stupid question. So, Newfoundland is its own country?
No.
No?
To be fair, it only joined Canada in like the 1949, I think, in 1946 or somewhere around there. Early 40s, late 40s.
Okay, so I'm not.
16, what is it? When did
Give me
Canada
a
join?
nice
I can't even remember now. Oh, I should know my own history.
Hey, you're doing better than me.
Let's see. 1948. I was close.
Wow.
So we're still pretty new to Canada, technically, if you look at it that way. It's not even 100 years yet.
So does that mean you're a province or a state, or how does that work? What do they call it? Did Canada call it like a province or a state?
We're provinces, yeah, we're provinces.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, so here's a cool fact that no one really knows. Newfoundland is only 25 kilometers from France. Yeah.
Because there's French territory over there, or because
the last French foothold in North America is 25 kilometers off Newfoundland. It's called Saint Pierre au Miquelon. No one knows that. So when everyone's like, I'm like, Newfoundland's only 25 kilometers from France, and they're like, what? Like, no, it's not. I'm like, oh, yes, it is. I pull out the map. Zoom in on the Google Maps. I'm like, right there. France's last foothold in North America.
But does it count as North America if it's an island?
Yes.
Like continental?
Yeah, it's still part of North America. Newfoundland's part of North America. We're an island.
Yeah. Islands don't get to be their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's pretty cool though.
Look at all the stuff you're learning today.
I'm learning a lot. I think I'm also learning that I'm not as good at geography as I thought I was.
For a flight attendant?
Yeah, we used to fly over Iceland a lot.
I'd love to go to Iceland. I think that's one of the places I want to hit.
Yeah, and Greenland. I want to go to both. But yeah, there's so many places I want to go to. But I've never been to Canada, or so I think.
Ever been to the Great White North?
Nope. I mean, the farthest north I've gotten in the United States, I went to New Hampshire once for like a day. It's probably the farthest north I've gotten.
Wow. You know, it's just a little drive up. Oh, actually, you can't even come up here right now. You're not allowed up here. We got the border on lockdown.
Yeah, it's like
And
with a
depending on
new,
how your election goes, it might stay locked a bit longer from what I'm hearing on the news.
the way the election goes, it's going to be like, you know how people Americans complain about Mexicans crossing the border. It's going to be Canadians complaining about Americans crossing the border.
That's been actually all over the news today about Americans defecting to Canada, depending on the election outcome. I'm like, cool. We got lots of space. Come on up.
I think personally, I think not like I think it's just a good idea to move more north.
Great for zombie apocalypse. Zombies can't move.
Global warming. Like you don't want to be in a place where, I mean, I'm in Florida right now, and I'm like, I don't think I want to live. Like I don't want to like stay here because it's probably all going to be underwater. Like
yeah, I keep hearing that too. Yeah,
and not drinkable water. And then, you know, so it's probably better to move north or have a summer house, have a winter house.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when it gets minus 40 degrees out here, it's not fun. It sucks.
Are you talking in Fahrenheit or Celsius?
They're pretty much the same at that temperature, I think, from what I remember. Minus 40, minus 40 Fahrenheit.
I don't remember. It gets trickier when it's negative.
Yeah, minus 40 in.
Because I know like the shortcut is double it and add 30.
Exactly the same. Minus 40
Exactly
Celsius, minus 40 Fahrenheit.
Oh, wow.
See, in Canada, we use both. We're all over the place. We just can't pick one. We use Celsius, we use Fahrenheit, we use feet, we use meters. Like,
I think it's important to think of them as like separate things. And I think the problem is like when I grew up with the imperial system with all the feet and whatever, and it wasn't that I was trying to convert it to figure out what it was, but once I could in my brain like visualize what like a liter was, then I didn't have to convert it anymore because I just knew what it meant. So I think if you can keep them separate and you can like know what it means instead, you'd be fine.
we just got really good at like using both. Like, it's really funny because you'll go to the store, like say Home Hardware or Home Depot, sorry. They'll have it in meters and they'll have it in feet. Yeah.
Wow. That's
and
great.
like on our ovens, like we're all metric here, but our ovens, we really focus on the Fahrenheit side. We bake things at 350, not, or 400, not 200.
Why?
Mixed breed. Like we're in between Britain and US. We're just in between.
That's crazy.
I think a lot of it has to do with because America's imperial.
Yeah.
So we're so close to you guys. It just flows over here sometimes, and then we also get the rest of the world flowing in on us from like using the metric system. But like when we drive around, it's kilometers on our car. It's kilometers on the road. Like if you were telling me what a yard was, I'd be like, not a clue.
3 feet.
I tell you what 3 cups is.
3 what?
3 cups or 3 not 3 cups 3 quarts opposed to 3 liters. Like I can tell, I know with the difference. Like a pint, like we still like measuring that stuff.
That's crazy.
We use a bit of everything. And like if I'm baking, I never use Celsius. It's always Fahrenheit.
Now, do you use grams or ounces?
Grams.
Grams.
But I also go by pounds. Like I'll measure something in pounds. I know that 454 grams is a pound, and there's 16 ounces in a pound.
28.3 grams in an ounce.
Yeah, see, so I know a bit. I'm all over the place, and I think it's annoying for a lot of my YouTubers too, because I'm like, I'll mix them because I'm just so used to mixing them, and people are like, he's using milliliters. What is it? What is it in so and so? Or he's using grams. What is it in pounds? I'm like,
but like also Google has a built-in converter, so come on, guys.
I usually try to weigh everything, even like water, liquid. I try to weigh it. Like this is the weight of it. It's the way I've been taught in cooking school. Like everything's weighed.
Yeah, well, water's the only thing you don't have to weigh because all of the
There
volume
it is.
measurements are based off of water.
Yeah.
But yeah, that drives me crazy because I understand, like, back in the day, and I'm talking like probably even like 5, 10 years ago, like to get a digital scale was expensive. But now they're like $20 and you just need like an 11-pound scale. You don't need
You're not doing commercial cooking here.
exactly. And people will be like, well, why can't you put that in cups or whatever? I'm like, get the scale. It's your your baking especially is gonna come out way better if you can measure things out in grams because they're a
Like,
smaller measurement.
if I grab this thing, where is it? Here it is. My culinary books from school. I think every single recipe in this thing is liquid or not, is all weighed. I find a recipe.
I think it's so
Yeah,
fun.
everything is weighed. It's all grams. Liquid, food, everything's grams in this.
So in one of my videos, I also I write in shorthand sometimes.
All right.
So you know how, okay, so the pound sign is the pound sign, but everyone calls it a hashtag now.
Yeah.
I put that in one of my earlier videos, and like the people my age had no idea what I was talking about.
Pound sign. You know that little thing that looks like a little tic-tac-toe box? That's a
Yeah.
pound sign.
And I was like, the thing when they say press pound on the phone, they never correlated that the thing on the phone was like the pound sign meant pounds, like the weight. And I was like, which kind of makes, but it was also the number sign for sometimes. But so I put like 3 pounds of flour or something in one of my recipes with the hashtag, and people were like, what is that? What does that mean?
That's
3 hashtags? I don't get it.
3 hashtags? You got it.
Oh my god. I guess that's for when I post my picture on Instagram later.
Right?
I'm like, what the fuck? But that's crazy. So I see your light back there.
Oh, this thing?
Yeah.
It's the bane of my existence. Its color correction's horrible. Like when it gives a green. My last video I uploaded drove me nuts because it was really darker when I filmed. For some reason, we had like a super dark day. So the light from the window was coming in, but the light from this was overpowering it because it wasn't very bright outside. And it gives a green hue to the wood and like everything in it. And I'm like, so I'm trying to color correct it in post. But as I changed the tint of it to more magenta, the other light source was changing, like getting worse. I'm like, I need new light.
I need to learn how to do color correcting in video because I don't know anything about that.
Pretty basic stuff. It can get really in depth, but I'm like, I just need saturation changed. I need some color, like weight balancing done, and that's about it. Some sharpening.
What program do you use?
I use DaVinci Resolve.
I'm using Premiere Pro, so I don't know how different that is.
They're pretty similar. Like I think in the end they all run really similar. DaVinci Resolve is really good for color grading, and it's free, so that's why I go with it. Not a huge YouTuber yet, so I don't have all that YouTuber money.
I mean, I have a subscription, but I wrote a book on marijuana edibles, so I had the subscription for that because I needed Photoshop and InDesign to format the book, and I learned all that I learned all the InDesign on YouTube. I learned Photoshop in high school, which is why I went with Adobe because that's what I learned in high school. But it was like cheaper to like bundle it. You know what I mean? So then I just went with that, and now I use it all the time. But maybe I should look into DaVinci so I could cut some costs.
I mean, like I couldn't justify the like. I'd love to keep using it, and I use it for photos. Like I use it for Lightroom, like doing my photos. Like I have a subscription for that. Actually, technically, I have a subscription for all of Creative Suite now, technically. But I never switched over to Premiere. I still keep using DaVinci because I know it, and so my workflow's quicker. I don't really have the time to relearn. Like I used to use Premiere years ago. I probably wouldn't take long, but I just don't. I rather just keep using DaVinci right now.
Yeah, I mean, why,
It's there. It works. I'm quick with it. I know how to. I know like I have all the shortcuts down for my keyboard.
yeah, as long as it doesn't, as long as you have all the same things, like why?
Yeah, everything I need it for it does it. So
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I gotta learn more about that because my lighting is better now. I got some lights for Christmas.
lighting is key. It's like the key to everything that we do.
My focaccia video, like it looks so professional compared to my other videos. Like it's such a big game changer, and I didn't even.
Should look at Philip's channel. All of his is lighting. He's so good with lighting. He makes it like super production.
His stuff is really good.
And he's using lights like this. This is $100. Not even $100. I got two of them for like $100. There's another one in the box. I just used one because I have a giant window for my little light.
I just got. It's like it's probably the same thing as that, but on Prime Day, I was like, my mom's like, oh, let me get you something for Christmas for your channel, and I was like, I need lights. So
Lights.
it was like $60 for two. So.
And like I got that when I first started, and I'm like, I guess I'm getting more picky now with my videos. I'm like, which I shouldn't be like getting caught up in that stuff. I should just be putting out good food videos. That's all I should worry about. But like, it's little things like when I was editing it the other day, the green hue on it, I'm like, I don't like it.
I think it makes a difference because even if people are like subconscious about it, I think they notice. You know what I mean? So.
But then I just realize and go back and look at my first few videos. I'm like, worlds ahead of those, so I'm still doing good. There's no rush to go and get the new light yet. So this one dies, then I'll switch it out.
I think I got to work on my thumbnails though. Today I put out a video about spatchcocking a chicken.
Oh, I've seen that. I watched it.
And I put my head on the chicken to like make it funny in the thumbnail. Because I did it at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and it seems to be working. I don't know how good the retention is because the video is not as funny as the thumbnail. That's where I went wrong.
Retentions are always good. I don't. It's funny watching my retentions. I'm like, you ever watch your retention on YouTube? And it's like the first like 5 seconds, it just goes from here and it goes like this. And you're like, who's clicking it for 1 second and closing it? Like,
I think it's really. I see the correlation between that and like suggested videos. So I think if it's like the next one and people don't mean to play another video, that's where you get that drop off. But I'm lucky if I even get in those fucking browse features and shit.
Like I got one video that's killing it on YouTube right now. Well, not killing it, but like it's one of my better performing. It's the Vitamix video. That thing's like getting me traffic. So I'm like, yeah.
That's a great video. And I think it shows your personality more because and also tells your story a little bit. What is in the book besides the Vitamix ice cream?
It's just that recipe.
In the book?
Yeah, that's all there. No, there's a bunch of different stuff. I have like a French toast recipe. I have a low calorie smash burger recipe.
Wait, how do you have low calorie French toast?
Low calorie French toast? I eat it like every day. It's so good. It's so simple. And this is the thing, I keep things so simple. Like that's when I was doing this. It's like, I don't want to be making all these like 16 different ingredient foods. I need it simple, quick, so I can just do it. It's plain ass white bread, as some people would call it. Just regular white bread, some egg whites, some cinnamon, and some low calorie sweetener, like syrup.
Oh, so we're taking out the fat and the sugar, basically.
Sometimes I still throw the egg in. Like it doesn't, it's that, like it's such a small amount, calorie amount and difference. It's not a big thing, but I'm increasing the protein in it. And then lowering the calories, and like the syrup is what kills you on like French toast and pancakes. It's like 300 calories for like half a quarter of a cup. So I go for like a no sugar added syrup, something like that. And that's where I do that. What else is in there? There's like burritos and like I think there's a burrito bowl in there. Like I eat a lot of that stuff. There's tzatziki, some salad recipes. I can't remember what's in there right now. I just make the recipes. I just cook the recipes. I don't refer to the book. I just made it for people to follow along if they want to.
You have a copy of the book, or you just be like, "This is my book."
Oh, it's literally a PDF. It's so I can update it. So I give it to people online, and as I make new recipes, or I got a hankering for something different, I want to add a recipe to it, I can send out an update to everyone. It's like, hey, there's new recipes added to the book. So it's like a live cookbook. Constantly.
What program did you use to make your cookbook?
I use Canva.
Canva? Really?
Yeah.
I'll try that. I did my book so like through Ingram Spark. So I could sell it on like it basically will distribute it to all the places you'd want to sell it. But you have to upload the PDF and everything. And I just didn't know how to basically do all the links and stuff in the book. So like if you went into the table of contents, you could just like click on that part and then it'll take you to whatever, or try to like search in the recipe. And I went on Fiverr and like found someone to do it for me, and it was just awful. It just looks like, because the table of contents, like it looks like links. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like a book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, this sucks. But I have a hardcover, which I like because I just don't think cookbooks should ever be paperback. Personally, I don't know. Like they just should be durable.
Yeah, I could see that.
In the kitchen. That's my opinion.
Fair enough. Yeah, like I pulled up the book here. I have like pork tacos. I have beef skewers, like Monte Cristo sandwich.
Ooh, Monte Cristo
wraps.
sandwich.
I got desserts in here. Oh, I got Greek meatballs, some chicken tostadas. What else we got? We got some basic stuff here, like spiced baked apples. The ice cream recipes in here, of course. And I got a couple more I'm developing now. I'm gonna throw in there, playing around with. But this isn't like the cookbook I want. Like I'm actually in the process of writing an actual cookbook that it's going to be published into like a book, like a hard copy.
Does the My Odyssey, is it strictly recipes, or does it like, do you have like little stories about like?
There's a little story about like what I did and why I did it. So it's like a couple pages of that. Yeah, just like how did I get how many calories I'm eating per day, and like what was my game of, like plan of attack for it, and then it's just like a couple pages of explaining that, and like some foods I eat that are not recipes, like strawberries, watermelon, Greek yogurt, popcorn. It's like low calorie dense foods.
So what are you doing now, exercise wise?
I have a gym in my basement.
You have a gym.
I did it before the pandemic happened. I was a personal trainer for a bit, and I did
I was lucky that you did it before the pandemic.
Right? Like literally months before. It was pretty close. So I put one in my basement because I wanted to get back into shape, but it wasn't that like instant. Like I got to do it. Like I wanted to put one in there and start working out again. But honestly, a lot of it was just due to food. Like it wasn't because of the exercise. Like exercising helped, brought up my calorie intake, so I lost more. But a lot of it was just staying on track with food. Like just make sure I wasn't overeating food, and if I wanted, I still had like if I wanted a little treat, if I wanted to go out and grab, some kind of takeout, I still had it once a week, once every 2 weeks, I'd have something. If I wanted to go out and like just have a nice night, and I treat it as a treat, like once in a while I have something.
Yeah, cheat day.
Yeah, so cheat day.
Even The Rock eats a plate of cookies.
Oh yeah, right. He's got epic cheat days. I don't know how he does it. But like a lot of my foods, like I have like chicken quesadillas is like it's technically a cheat meal, but I have a healthy version of it where it still tastes good. Like it tastes like quesadillas.
That's what I gotta do. When I was a kid, I was always cooking and stuff, and I invented these quesadillas that my friends dubbed Graceadillas because
You need to make one of those on YouTube.
Yeah, I gotta make them on YouTube. They're like super bad for you though. They're cooked in bacon fat.
Did you see my latest video? The custard recipe is like sugar and fat.
Yeah, I had to talk to you about that because the custard skills. Okay, so custard 101. About to go pastry chef on you.
What's that?
You can add the sugar to the eggs, but you have to stir it. You don't.
So if you leave it too long, it will start to coagulate. It absorbs the
Yeah.
moisture in the liquid, and it'll start clumping up the eggs.
Yeah, they call it a sugar burn.
Sugar burn. I just made it simple
Yeah.
and called it
But
cooking. Because it's always like I usually have like cook the eggs. It doesn't really cook the eggs, but it clumps up the egg
let's
mixture.
call it's because sugar is hygroscopic, so it
Yeah, so it's
extracts water.
okay.
But as long as you stir it, you're good. Like it takes a while for it to burn. But if
I
you
know, but I know what happens here with people though. They're like, they'll put it there, forget about it, go over do this for 20 minutes, come back, and then they got clumps. So I'm like, last minute, attitude, whisk it in, and then start pouring it in.
That's true. That's true.
I'm just trying to keep, because I know like custard is one of those, you could easily overdo custard, either on the
Oh
cooking
yeah.
side or you're leaving it. So I'm just trying to make it easy as possible for someone where they can't mess it up. And then I give them, the old school trick of putting it through a sieve and make sure you get all the lumps out.
Yeah.
I do
And
that with my gravy
that
sauce.
also works really well too if you ever do a like a lemon curd recipe, any curd. You
Yeah.
should, because that'll pop. Like you really want to get that as thick as you possibly can before you take it off the stove.
Like
And
the one I did in my video ended up being thicker than I was going to make it.
it was super thick.
But it was more of a, like, so it's that one's like, it's a Greek based one, so it's meant for like fillings, like the
Oh, like a pastry
pastries.
cream.
So it's a little bit thicker. So when it sets, it's got this really nice, rich, heavy, like you can scoop it and like get a little.
Well, also, probably just like pastry cream, you could use that as a base for like mousselines and stuff. So you could take like one of the easiest things to do is take like a custard like that, and then if you want to like flavor it with like a berry or something, you fold in puree, but then
Yeah.
you also fold in whipped cream or meringue, and it'll give it like that really like moussey like structure, which is fun.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I was worried post because I'm not a baker. I'm not a pastry chef. I don't do it. I'm more of a food, like cooking.
Yeah.
Like I went to school for cooking.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
cake side was always like my like I can do it. I'm not the best at it. I'm still learning with it, even this far out. I was when I put the video, I'm like, some pastry chef is gonna look at this and go, "What are you doing?"
That was me.
But I did good. It came out. It was right.
No, it came out really well, actually. I just was I just figured like just like you said, I was like, oh well, he's culinary. Like just like you could definitely spatchcock a chicken better than I can. You know what I mean? Like that's your specialty. It's like you have the general doctor and then you have the doctor that specializes in something. So we all get our little like general classes basically, and then we go off and specialize. So that's when I was like, oh well, I figure I might as well tell you because then next time you do a custard video or whatever, then you'll be like,
And I was waiting for someone to make a comment about the whole egg thing, the sugar in the eggs. I was like, someone's gonna say something. I know they are. I know someone's gonna say something.
I mean,
Thank
it's a sugar burn, but you are right because I was thinking in terms of like not like the layman, like, and I was that's probably smarter just to tell them to do it.
Just before, because your milk's not going to cool down fast enough for you to by the time you do this and whisk it together.
Well, that was another thing with the tempering.
The what?
The tempering of the eggs. I mean, this is definitely for the layman too, to do the ladle thing, but the trick is to
Keep it moving.
like agitate it like as fast as you can,
Yeah.
and then you can just like do a step.
Yeah, I've done that, but I know again, layman, just simple. Because everyone like tempering eggs are all like, oh no, I'm going to cook my egg. Like you're thinking hot liquid into an egg, like it's going to cook. And
Yeah.
everyone gets nervous with it. I'm like, just take your time, one ladle at a time. We're only making a little batch here. We're not doing like commercial size batches. Just whisk it in. It'll take a couple seconds, and then we're done. Like I do a liaison for my chicken soup. Like I do an egg. I thicken it with egg and lemon juice in my Greek chicken soup recipe.
Okay.
Same thing. Just ladle it in. Simple, quick and easy. Then throw it back in.
I just had a separate thought of you could totally make a really good ice cream out of that Greek custard.
Oh, you could. Ooh, I wish I had an ice cream maker now because I got all that yogurt downstairs that I can't eat, or not yogurt, all that custard downstairs I can't really eat right now.
Yeah, I'm lucky I got an ice cream machine.
I just can't. My wife won't let me buy it. Let me get any more equipment for the kitchen. She's like, "You have enough." I
That's why
bought
you
a food
have to
processor. She's like, "What are you going to use this for?" I'm like, "For the odd thing I need to make on YouTube."
exactly.
I'm
And
like, I may not use it every day. I have a little one I use like for my like my hand mixer. I connect it to that. I use that every day because it's this big. It's a little food processor that you just click into it.
oh, food processor?
So it's a hand blender, but you know you can take the wand off.
The immersion blender. Okay.
Yeah, the immersion blender. You can connect it to a little tiny food processor.
Oh, that's
that can-
cool.
So I'm like, yeah, I just use that instead of pulling out the big one because it's for 2 people. I don't need to be making batch sizes of like huge batch sizes of like anything. And I like using it for making dough. Like if I'm making pizza dough quickly, I'll just throw in or pasta dough processor, couple seconds, fold it in.
the culinary people love to make dough in the food processor.
Rock, because efficiency is quicker. No one's making pasta by hand in the back of those fancy Italian restaurants. All in the food processor.
I would just do it in the mixer.
Or in a mixer.
The thing is, I don't like about the food processor is the blades. Like, I just feel like it. I feel like the food processor generates more heat, and
But if you're making pasta, it's not going to do a huge difference. I can see if you're doing like Blitz pastry or something like butter.
yeah, that
Or
fucking
like
annoys
a pie
me.
crust.
Pie crust and puff pastry in the food.
Yeah, that stuff we like even when I was in cooking school, they're always like, don't do it in here because the heat generated from it. It's such a little amount of heat, but it's enough to affect the pastry.
Yeah.
Like, fair point.
Yeah.
But if I'm mixing up some pizza dough,
Maybe.
and
Maybe you get a pass.
I'm doing it for me. So if it messes up,
Yeah.
and like if I'm showing someone on YouTube, it's chances are they're going to do the same thing. It's for them. They're not making it for commercial reasons. Quick little shortcuts, easy peasy.
But I'm really careful. I'd like to explain though, like why I'm doing the shortcut. You know. And I usually like.
I don't have the need for 5 minutes. 30 seconds, I'm done.
Yeah.
And like I have a KitchenAid, but I don't like doing dough in it. I find I just struggle with dough. Like every kitchen I ever had, I burnt out the motor with the dough. Maybe I put too much dough in it.
Well, then you're putting it up too high. You just gotta put it on stir and forget about it for a while. But
I like it when it whips it across the side of the bowl.
yeah, but your mixer doesn't like it.
No.
I also find that when I do doughs like that, my recipe is usually too big for my mixer anyway.
Yeah.
So my mixer is usually like creaming method stuff, like cake batters and cookies and stuff.
That's what mine's for that. Mashed potatoes. I use it a lot for mashed potatoes.
Me too. I really though.
You use your KitchenAid to make mashed potatoes? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. The trick is you can't overdo it though, because they'll get gummy. But
depends on your potato. If you have a yellow Yukon Gold potato, you can get away with it a bit more than you could have rusted. They don't break down the same.
I'll have to remember that. But
as long as you whip your potatoes, you're pretty good.
I don't even like really like I don't whip them that much. I just like break them up, you know.
Yeah, I'll push it with the yellow potatoes. With a russet, I'll just put it on low for a couple seconds just to get it all mashed up.
But the best potatoes, I mean, honestly though, the best potatoes I ever had were with a ricer or a food mill.
Yep.
And that's on the list of food mill.
Rice and then put through a mesh.
And then put through a mesh. Yeah, but
and a ton of copious amounts of butter and milk or cream.
I like to use sour cream.
Yeah,
it's just
I like sour cream and I like using nutmeg in it too.
Just a little bit. You're not supposed to tell anyone about that. That's a secret.
Everyone knows. Do it? Really? Secret?
Yeah.
You can bleep that out, and then everyone will be like, "What is he talking about?"
What is he talking about? No.
Between that and roasted garlic, I think roasted garlic mashed potatoes are like one of the best things ever made.
They're so good. Where was
the more garlic, the better.
Oh my god! And I love roasted garlic. Like you just throw the bulb in the. It's so satisfying to roast a bulb of garlic and squeeze out all the roasted garlic.
You're just like, yeah.
It's the most satisfying thing to do. Like, I should make one of those videos where people just watch like satisfying things of me just like squeezing out the garlic. Oh man, they're so
Was
good.
it like? Was it? I was watching. Did you see the video of Philip on the Creators when he was eating the fish? Was it the chips or fish or something? He was eating. No, he was eating spring rolls on the video, and all you heard was crunch, crunch, crunch,
Yeah. Oh
and
my,
he's like crunch, crunch, and I'm like, this is oddly satisfying. Listening to you eat your spring rolls.
like it was like mukbang over there.
And then there's another YouTube creator. He was chopping lettuce, and like whatever you're doing with like this, just the sound of the chopping of the lettuce, you're like, this is oddly satisfying.
Yeah, even Philip was making that video recently, and I guess he like was playing with the sound, and he was capturing like all the cuts and like the peeler and stuff, and I was just like, it's like you could sell the sound effects. I messaged him. I was like, why don't you just sell these sound effects like to add on? Because like I can't capture that with the equipment I have. Like I'm not capturing that. Like that would be a great side business. Oh, he's gonna be in the shot for a second.
That's a good looking sandwich right there.
There's a good looking sandwich. I don't want to start eating it and be like, it just like pick up the sound of me crunching and then like you're trying to talk.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I was like, I should wait a minute before I start eating the sandwich.
Crunch, crunch, crunch. I mean, like you're getting beer, sandwich. Like, where's my like catering here?
I got a good one over there. But
hey, I cook. I'm the cook, so I gotta cook every meal. So I don't get that luxury of someone cooking for me. My wife's like, no, you're cooking dinner, because she's cooked for me, and she's good, but sometimes I'm gonna cook it. She's good at pasta.
I mean, your accent's so funny when you say pasta.
Right.
It's pasta. Because
Oh.
the heavy R is funny. It's not funny in a bad way. It's just like accent. You know what I mean?
I don't have an accent. What are you talking about there now?
Yeah. It really does
I can
sound.
talk like a Newfoundlander for the rest of the call here now if you want to.
Yeah, sure.
What was it? I put on this accent. I had an Irish girl thinking I was Irish. She's like, "What part of Ireland are you from?" I was like, "I'm not."
I mean, you have the ginger a little bit too in your beard.
Yeah, I got the red going through the beard. I have Irish descent. I'm an Irish descendant. That's not a doubt.
You got a green shirt on? Like, there you go.
St. Patty's Day every day here.
Every day. That's so funny. But pasta. Yeah, but he, you know, the great thing is that Noel's worked in the food industry, like, probably just as long as I have. He worked, he used to run a Pollo Tropical kitchen, which is like Caribbean grill style. They used to have them in North Jersey, but then they closed them all. They still have them here in Florida, but it's kind of like Puerto Rican barbecue, if that makes sense. It's good stuff. So it's like tostones and yuca, and he's Dominican, so that's also part of his culture and upbringing. So I love cooking with him, and it's just so good to have that, like, to bounce ideas off of. Like I made it was so maduros are sweet plantains, or it's a dish made with sweet plantains. It's basically fried sweet plantains in butter and stuff, and they're like, it's super sweet. And I was like, this would be a good idea. I would never heard of this if he wasn't my boyfriend, but so I blended them. I made them, blended them in the blender, and then replaced the pumpkin pie, the pumpkin in the pumpkin pie recipe with sweet plantains, and made a sweet plantain pie. So it's just like, it's just great to have that, like, like always something different. Like he's really into food too, so it's just always good to like bounce ideas up. Like we're gonna have another video, which is not gonna be for weight loss. We came up with like we always elaborate on each other's ideas. So he had this idea to make nachos, which we do a lot with like our leftovers. And so we made nachos, and then he'd be like, it would be a great idea to put a tortilla under this, because when you eat nachos, one of the worst part is you're eating it, all the shit falls off and you can't eat it. So we're like, okay, that's cool. So let's put it in the oven. And we're eating it the second time with the tortilla underneath. And I was like, you know, it would be even a better idea. Why don't we make this nacho on the bottom a quesadilla?
So, sound like Taco Bell with their crazy ideas.
So then because the thing too was that having it on the bottom, it did get nice and crispy, but it was like stuff could still fall through. So we were like, well, if we put the cheese in the middle and double layered it, then it would really like be the glue to hold everything together. So then nacho dillas were born.
So you do like a layer, like, so you put your shells down, and you do a layer of cheese and then put your nachos on top?
No, we do tortillas.
Yeah.
And then cheese, and then more tortilla to fill up the gaps, and then the nachos on top. Because usually we also layer the nachos kind of like lasagna, where it's not just the cheese on top of the chips, it's like chips, cheese, filling stuff.
Yeah.
And the
The only way to do it.
Yeah, so the trick too is also we don't put anything on there that has a lot of water in it. So like all the like salsas and peppers and onions, they all go
afterwards.
So it's just the cheese and the meat pretty much. Sometimes peppers and onions, but we cook it first and then we put it on.
I'll do it like my layer of nachos. I'll do a layer of queso sauce, then cheese, then nachos, queso sauce, then cheese. Then I'll cook that, and then I'll top it with the fresh tomatoes, onions, and I usually put chili on the top.
We use whatever meat we have, but I also love putting like black beans on it because I just love it.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
So that's definitely going to be another video because it's just
making like burrito bowls is one of my keys for weight loss. Making a big ass burrito bowl.
Do you just do the rice, or do you do like a burrito shell?
I'll do both.
Do both.
There's days I'm like, I want a burrito, and I'll just throw all the toppings into the burrito, and it'll be this massive burrito, and it might be like 500-600 calories, but I'm like, it's in my calorie allowance. I'm eating it. But like, if I make a big bowl, a burrito bowl, it's like I'll have like a bunch of rice, a bunch of beans, and like a bunch of vegetables, like a ton of like grilled vegetables on top of it. So I got this like mound of food. My wife's like, that's a lot of food. I'm like, yeah, but it's mostly veggies.
Oh yeah, and like we make our fresh salsa like all the time because we costed it out, and it was like a canned salsa was like it was close to like a quarter per ounce or something, and then we made our own salsa, and it was like 10 cents an ounce with like canned corn and canned tomatoes and stuff like that, or fresh tomatoes if we have them. But it's just so much cheaper, and we got so much more out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we probably got like 2 quarts. So that's what we do. But putting that on top doesn't get better.
Right. Now I want nachos. Thank you, by the way.
One of my favorite burrito bowls too is a breakfast burrito bowl where you put like an over easy egg on top of the rice and you mix it all in.
Drip it down, like all that like yolk goes through it. Yeah.
That's my favorite. Oh my god.
I'm gonna have one of those for breakfast now. Yeah, I'm having a breakfast burrito bowl.
You're welcome. I hope you're having stuff. The other thing too is like with the rice and everything is I just like any recipe that's got water in it, I always think to myself, is this an opportunity to add flavor?
Yep.
So I started cooking all my rice and chicken stock that I make. So much better.
I've been cheating with chicken stock lately. I just really haven't had time to make chicken stock. I've been using that I shouldn't say this. I've been using the Better Than Bouillon.
No.
So good. I usually don't use that stuff, but when I'm in a pinch, that stuff's like, it's actually a great substance. Like, I like it.
I can't eat it because of MSG. It's so strong that it. I get,
Maybe that's why it tastes so good.
oh, 100%. It tastes
But
amazing.
nothing's better than homemade stock. And like when I make my chicken lemon soup, it's made with a full carcass of chicken. Like a full chicken goes in that. And the stock is made for the process of making it.
But I just think, I mean, but the bouillon coupe, it tastes amazing, but it's engineered to taste
Oh,
amazing.
of course it is. Like I said, everything's engineered to like make you eat more of it. But no, when I'm in a pinch, I have that in the back of my fridge if I'm really short and I need stock and I don't have any like made or frozen. Because usually when I make it, I'll make a giant batch of it and freeze it. And next thing you know, I don't realize I have none left. I'm like, I need to make something and I need this. So.
I'm actually wondering how, because my problem is I don't have a lot of freezer space to store the stock. So I'm thinking
Can it?
I don't know. I've never tried to can stock before. I haven't canned anything in a long time, but I'm just not sure if my I gotta figure out how I would set it up here. That's all. I'm sure I could do it, but I'm not sure.
My mother-in-law can stuff, you can can stuff.
Oh, I think I could do it, but and I have a lot of like mason jars, but I don't know where the lids are.
Go buy some new lids anyways, just in case.
Yeah.
Once you can only use those like a couple times, and you gotta reuse get new ones, isn't it?
I think you can only reuse it. You can only really use it once because you have to make sure.
I don't can a lot, as you can tell.
Oh, so I can give you're giving me shit, but it's okay.
Hey, I'm not the one. I got lots of freezer space.
That's nice. Well, I was thinking more about like reducing it to make a concentrate, but
Like a demi-glaze almost. Yeah.
yeah.
I actually got that in my freezer. I got a bunch of these little cubes of like pure demi, like reduced chicken stock. Like it went from like 4 or 5 liters to like half a liter, like 500 mils of this like little cubes of like pure flavor.
How
It's so like thick when it's like not frozen. Like when it's just sitting in room temperature, it's like jelly. It's so good.
yeah, that's what I think I want to do because that would be smaller than a can.
Yeah, and then you can just add a bit of water to it. So you're like, here you go, make your own little concentrate.
That's what I'm thinking.
Where's this concentrate?
Freeze in some ice cube trays. There you go.
That's why I got those big ice cube, like the bourbon ones with the big thick ice cubes. I just fill those, and each one of those is a portion.
I've always wanted the circle ice cube mold.
Like the round.
Yeah, it's so cool. I saw. So I actually I got my job back to teach at Sur La Top. So if you're in West Palm Beach and you want a class taught by Chef Grace, sign up. But they were selling Death Star ice cubes, like Star Wars, and I just thought it was so cool. Oh man, that was when the movie was coming out and stuff. They had all that kind of stuff, and I was just like, that's pretty cool. I would like that in my old fashioned. That'd be sweet. But yeah, that's I'd go for a meeting tomorrow, and then my first class is on Saturday. So we'll see. I don't know how it's going to be with all the COVID stuff. So, or with the election. There's just so much uncertainty right now. It's not.
I know, right?
It's not good.
Just can't wait till like 2021 when everything's back to normal, right?
It's never going back to normal.
No.
I'm very concerned because it's either way there's going to be riots.
Yeah, they were saying on the news this morning that they're preparing it for whatever way that it goes.
Yeah. And I think I don't know if you could tell, but Noel's black. So it might be time to go above the Mason-Dixon line. I'm not sure. Because stuff's getting pretty crazy out here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like maybe like 2 months ago now, there was a young man who was hung from a tree in Orlando, and they ruled it a suicide, but usually you don't beat the shit out of yourself before you commit suicide. So thinking time to go. But we'll see. We'll see. He's got to get his license for airplane mechanic, but then we'll figure it out from there. And I also really want to have a homestead and like grow my own vegetables and all that shit. And it's kind of hard to do that if you have winter. So
Yeah, we just did that. We have like in Alberta, we have like a 3-month growing season.
have you seen, did you get a big yield or?
Yeah, you know what? Strawberries are like the best thing to grow. Those things like are hardy as hell.
Well, strawberries do really good at, they just taste better at a high altitude. Like I had,
Is that why they taste so good up here? Because I'm like 3,000 meters above sea level.
yeah, I mean, when I went to, because like, I really don't like strawberry ice cream actually. Like I'm not like a big berry fan. And I went to Copenhagen and, and Norway. They have pretty good like farmers markets up there. And these these strawberries look like they were fake like strawberries made out of like glass. Like they were so shiny and like they were so small. They were like this big and the sweetest strawberries I've ever had. Like in America, we get like these bigger, like ugly looking strawberries and they're like pretty sour, but that's like what grows here.
Really? Ours are the ones in our backyard were really sweet. They're like candy.
Yeah, these are like candy. And I
Like,
think
they're so good. And, like they're so like resilient to like the weather. Like we went out there after we had snow there earlier in October, and we went out. The berries were still kicking. I'm like, they were covered in snow for 2 weeks. I'm like, and you're still alive.
that's awesome. But I've also been seeing these things where it's a greenhouse, but it's underground. So like you dig a hole and you put a roof on it, and then you have, because it's dirt because you dug a hole.
Radiant heat from the,
Yeah, you just plant it in the hole. I was like, that is so cool.
that's pretty awesome.
I want to do that.
We
There's
yielded we got a lot of potatoes and carrots.
That's true. Root vegetables do good in the cold weather. And the brassicas, right? The
Things that survive the frost. That's what we plant. Because we get frost like in September. So we can start planting in end of May to September is our our growth season for anything else.
Has it snowed up there yet?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh man.
We just came out of it. Like we had 2 weeks of like -20.
Oh my god.
Now today it's like 15, 20 degrees. So this is Celsius, by the way.
I used to love like this is my first time not having the seasons change because as a flight attendant, even though I've been based in Florida for like 3 years now, I would go fly to Norway or wherever, and I would get my fix for like my fall season or my winter season. And so this is the first time that I don't really have that. And it's like time is standing still because the season hasn't changed. It's really strange. And today it was like 79 out Fahrenheit.
Not gonna lie, I dream of those days.
But that was like cold for here. Like 79 super windy is like as cold as it gets.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't know. I don't think I like it. Because
My-
I have a
my-
hard time remembering when things happen too, because the season's the same. Like I can't be like, oh, that happened in the spring or that happened in the fall.
I guess, yeah.
It's really weird. I miss fall.
Come stay at -40 for a couple of years and you'll start thinking, I miss the straight season where it's one season.
I don't think so. Because I don't think so. Because even the thing too is people don't realize is humidity has a huge factor on the amount of temperature you feel.
So I'm from an island.
Yeah. Well, no, so that's super cold. But I think the best quote too was when I was flying back and forth from Norway a lot. I was like, but it's cold. Like, um, like these two. Okay, so when I used to work on a really big plane, so the when you would take off in the jump seat, there's I would work in like the middle of the plane sometimes, and by the third door, and that door you're just staring at the three people in front of you. So you're either like staring at the seatbelt sign, just like trying not to make eye contact if they're weird, or they'll strike up a conversation with you and you talk to them, which is probably how I came out of my shell more, because before I was a flight attendant, like my mom literally said to me, like, you're never going to be a flight attendant. Like, you can't talk. I was like, I'll show you, Mom. And I did it. But these two like super old Norwegian women were coming back from Florida, and they're like, you know what they say? There's no bad weather. There's only bad clothes. And I was like, that's true. So then I went to Uniqlo and I got my like heat. They make like leggings and like shirts that like trap the heat instead of letting it out, and super thin. And I would be out and like walking around Norway and Copenhagen like sweating and just wearing like a peak coat over it. And then my like colleagues are wearing like these big puffy jackets and everything and their gloves. And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. I don't like the cold.
Come to Florida.
I like some, like, don't get me wrong. I like it like -10 is the coldest I like. After that, I just don't like it.
But I feel like it gets to a point where it's just like,
no.
It's cold.
When you have a warning that if you go outside, you'll get frostbite within 3 minutes, I don't like that cold.
That is pretty cold. You can't grow anything there.
It's so cold that your car won't start sometimes. It gets that cold.
Oh, I've had that problem before. When I was a kid, my mom was dropping us off to like kindergarten. We used to live in Bayonne, which is it's like a city. So you can't always find a good parking spot. And she was like running late for work, and she used to drive this like old station wagon. And my brother was like, I have a twin brother, and he was the worst when it came to like dropping off from school. Like she'd have to like throw him over her shoulder, kicking and screaming, and he'd be like, I'm not going. So she's doing all this, and she comes around, she opens the door, double parked, to get us into school, and the door falls off the car. So she's like, fuck. But it was so cold that she put it back on and it froze onto the car.
Cool.
So she dropped us off, and then but we couldn't open she left it like that until it, stopped freezing. But then she had to get it fixed. But she was like, the cop was writing her a ticket on her when she was leaving and all this shit. She was like, can't make this shit up. The food got really cold over there in New Jersey, which is really interesting because when I went to Colorado to visit my friends, it was actually warmer there because of the way the mountains are, and the sun would beat on the mountains and the mountains would trap in the heat. So, but an island would be very cold and windy.
So we live right next to the mountains. Like we're right off the mountains. We're an hour from the Rockies.
Okay.
During the winter, we'll get these things called Chinooks. So you'll get this like 17, 20 degree day in the middle of winter.
Wow. That's cool. I like the name for it, Chinook.
Yeah. So like you'll get days where it's like -15 or -20, and the next day it's +20, and you're like, sweet.
That's awesome.
And then the roads become a nightmare because all that melts, and then the next day everything's -20 again, and it's ice everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's fun for the day until the next day, and everything's frozen solid again.
Yeah. Do you have One of my favorite things about being in the Scandinavian cold climate was they just have really cool alcoholic beverages for winter that are like hot, like mulled wine and which glögg, which was like my favorite. Do you have that?
No, we still drink normal. I mean, mulled wine is we make that, but I think everyone makes that. Or am I
That's a new
wrong?
thing in America.
No,
No, I was I think the first time I had that was in France actually.
like I got Irish coffee. Like that's good.
That is good, but they don't make it right in America.
Some Baileys and some whiskey and
I like to I don't know where I was when I had this, but mix the coffee with brown sugar first and like whiskey, but like really like whip it up together, and then with the fresh whipped cream on top and a little bit of nutmeg. That's really good. But a lot of people like forget to sweeten the coffee, and then I'm like,
they
no.
got sweet coffee. I like black coffee, but when it comes to Irish coffee, it's got to have a bit of sweetness to it.
Yeah, because or else the whiskey is just like punches you in the face. I want Irish coffee now. That's the thing too. Like it doesn't get cold enough to like enjoy that.
It does here. It does here.
Yeah.
And now that we're working from home, maybe there'll be more of that.
Yeah, I mean, if all the restaurants are closed, you're still doing well. I guess are you doing like online menu pictures for them?
Oh yeah, I do. So I work for a grocery store as well. So I got lots of work.
Wow.
Grocery store, people still got to eat.
Yeah, that's. I think everyone's just gonna move to online delivery.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way it's going.
I mean, I was watching this thing on the Florida food policies, and our like food benefit stuff is called SNAP here, where like it's like for poor people like me who are unemployed, you can get some money to buy some food every month, and they're starting to make it where you can use that online. So I feel like if that's happening, like everything's just gonna move online.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool. It's good and bad because the only thing it's bad for is like the elderly people who don't know how to use a computer.
Yeah.
Because they talk about all these food assistance programs for the elderly and like go online, but like my uncle's like 60 something. He doesn't know how to do
It's like my mom. She's no idea how to use a computer. Lucky if I get her to use Facebook on her phone.
And then she'll like comment on your wall and think that she's messaging you.
Which, yeah, she's done that. Or you think, she'd share my stuff, like my videos, and she shares like all these like different websites and different like different YouTubers and different like bloggers, and never shares my material. Then she'll call me, "Do you have a recipe for stew?" And I'm like, "You follow me? Like,
You follow
my channel? Oh, what's that? Where's that? Where can I get that?" I'm like, "Thanks, Mom. Thanks for support." Like she called me 2 days ago for a stew recipe that I made when I was back home. I was like, "It's on my channel." And she's like, "Oh, where's that?" I'm like, "I'll just send it over to you. You won't share it, but hey, but she'll share, like Blossom's videos and like."
Yeah, I just don't think they understand how it works yet. I think the Social Dilemma did a good job of explaining how it works. That was kind of my inspiration too behind the funny thumbnail I just did, because I'm like, I just got to make clickbait basically.
That's ooh, the word clickbait.
Fuck it.
Hey, I just got to put up a picture of food and hopefully that works.
Yeah, but that's what everyone's doing.
Okay. I've seen some thumbnails out there and I'm like, there was no thought put behind that thumbnail whatsoever. It's like a screenshot from the video.
That's true, but at the same time, like, I mean, I think it could just be a picture of the food because sometimes you get lucky and like the screenshot is like a decent shot.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some where it's like that looks like a home video, and then you're like, that's
Which sometimes like there's nothing wrong with home videos too. Like I've seen some really good ones. I'm like, yeah, I like this.
yeah. But
Like,
I just don't
I guess
think,
just get the initial click. I try to keep mine clean. I guess I don't like putting text over mine. I want the food to show. Because I've seen some where it's all text over the product or what you're trying to show. I'm like, I don't know if I like. It might work for them, but I don't want. I don't think it works for me. Like I just like having my branding on the side and then the photo of the food. Because you can, if you're looking, like you're going to see the photo if you're looking for like custard or like a soup. It's going to the picture. You know what you're looking for. You know what it is. And hopefully the picture's enticing enough for you to click on it. That's what I'm hoping for. My click rates are pretty good, so I think it's working. Like when YouTube suggests videos, my click rate is pretty high, so I'm hoping that's a good sign.
I think my suggested videos are just not happening yet.
Like that's where I get like my Vitamix one. I think that's a horrible picture, but people click on it because it's got a really high conversion rate. Like the Vitamix ice cream. It's not my favorite picture.
Vitamix on it, right? Like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I put Vitamix on it so it would stand out a bit more. Let's see here.
I think that's what really drew me to that video, actually.
The logo?
Yeah, because I was like, I want a Vitamix. And then I said, oh, strawberry ice cream.
Right. Like I'm on my Patreon. Like I think my food looks pretty. Like I think it's almost self-explanatory. I don't think I need to put too much to it.
No, I think it's good. And you have your branding. I think that's important.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, someone was watching my gave me comments the other day. Like your branding is like on point. I was like,
yeah, because
thanks.
I think also when you're in the suggested videos and stuff like that, if people get familiar with your branding, like if they see it like 5 times, like then they'll click on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was
It's
another.
really hard to get people to click videos. I realized it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be when I first started doing this. I'm like, I'm going to make a video and everyone's going to watch it. No, it's not like that at all.
Well, I'm realizing it's more about distribution than anything. You can make a really good video. It reminds me of the music industry because there are so many amazing musicians that you will never hear in your life because they're not going to be put in front of your eyeballs. You know what I mean? You're just not going to know that they're there. And
Right?
many musicians that are amazing and probably even more amazing than the people that have made it don't make it just because they don't know somebody who knows somebody.
And you're essentially doing that with YouTube too. It's like, well, is YouTube going to give you the break that you need?
Yeah. Or I mean, a lot of times I think too, it's somebody with a bigger channel gives you a shout out, So and like because I see like I watched the Joe Rogan podcast and he kind of like gloats about I've never taken out an ad or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but you also started YouTube first. So the algorithm had nothing else to suggest but you. You know what I mean? So I think that's another thing I was wondering about. Even I mean I can't really afford to do it now, but even paid promotions and trying to like push through just to
I
get.
played with them, and I don't see the value in it. Like I played with it and tried it, and
Yeah.
I think it's really comes down to like really finding something that's not being pushed a lot, but people are searching for. I think that's what like it's hard to compete. It's really hard. And like I got it like on my like roasted Greek potatoes. I got a couple I'm trending on, but like trying to get found on a potato recipe in general is like near impossible. There's so many potato recipes out there.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like I want to do another potato recipe. I'm like, is it worth the time right now? I might do it just for my own subscribers, but to try and grow, I need to like focus on things that are not really being like it's not oversaturated or finding the way it's done that's not being saturated. So like a lot of keyword research, surprisingly, it's like, yeah, It's the only way I'm getting found. And the Vitamix video is doing well because there's not a lot of new stuff there for it.
But I noticed when I was searching a few things, focaccia, spatchcock chicken, like a couple things, like the top 3 to 5 videos will be videos that are from like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And that's another good thing though, because YouTube will throw you up at the top of the list because you're new. There's no news route. There's nothing there that's
because then I'll go further than just the top page just to see what's going on. And they'll have videos from 3 months ago or, less. And it's below these videos that are years old. And I'm like, it doesn't even make sense too, because they were talking about how like they changed the tags and all this other stuff. And it doesn't seem like it should be at the top,
That's interesting. It's all, I guess, comes down to that algorithm. However YouTube sees works best is where it's going.
Magic.
And
behind the curtain.
Right. It's more than just making videos. People don't realize it. It's more than just cooking a video or making a cooking video and moving on.
That's probably the least amount, actually.
Yeah, that's the fun part. That's the easy part. The rest of it is getting found and getting people to watch it. Like, I really thought my tomato one, or my last recipe, the tomato recipe, do good. My potato recipe, I have a mashed potato, like in the Vitamix. I should put KitchenAid on that. That's a good idea. I'm gonna make it rank that way. I'm gonna keyword research that and put mashed potatoes made in a KitchenAid. Because I can't get found. Like, it's just sitting there. And then the only time people view it is when I share it on Facebook. No one's searching it.
I did a mashed potato in KitchenAid. I'm not sure if I keyworded KitchenAid though, but it's not doing great either. Like, I found.
I'm like competing with chicken soup. Not happening. I'm too small for chicken soup. Like, I'm starting to get traction with like the spinach pie and spanakopita, because I think YouTube's starting to see me as like an authority in like Mediterranean Greek food.
Okay, I love it.
I noticed I'm starting to rank things. It's weird. But if I went and put out like a smash burger recipe, I probably wouldn't even rank for anything. It's weird how it's working.
Noelle used to work at a smash burger.
I love smash burgers. They're so good.
He's a
favorite.
You're gonna have him make me some.
I don't eat a lot of them, unless it's my healthy version. That's in my cookbook.
How can you make a smash burger healthy?
Okay, so just use extra lean ground beef, 90% lean. But the trick with smash burgers is they're cooked so quickly, they don't have a chance to dry out. And if you use a slice of American cheese, that gets in between the cracks and it gives it that nice, gooey, soft, juicy. It doesn't get dry, so it still works. It's not as good. It's about 80% as good. But it gets enough that you're like, yeah, that was good. I like that. You're not going, oh, I'm eating a chicken burger. This is not a hamburger. Like, it's not that kind of like. I've tried doing the leaner like chicken burgers, and by the time I worked out the calories in them, I'm like, for 10 more calories, I can just have the smash burger made with beef, and that's what I want, and that's what I'm gonna have, and I'm gonna eat it, and it worked.
What kind of like what's the craziest like meat you've eaten?
Craziest meat I've eaten?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say because I'll probably be banned. And it's not it's not a pet. Don't worry. I've had horse.
Okay. That's
being a Newfoundlander, I've had seal. I've had cod tongues, cod cheeks.
Wait, what? Cod? Like
cod, fish.
They have tongues?
They have tongues and they have cheeks.
Huh. How big is a cod?
Sorry?
How big is a codfish?
I think it's pretty big. They can get pretty big. Yeah, bigger. Yeah, you can go from like this to like this. There changes.
Huh.
Yeah, I've had like moose, all different types of game.
I've had whale.
Right?
I don't think whale was interesting.
Never had whale. No, never tried it.
It tastes like it's got that like consistency of sushi salmon, but it tastes like beef jerky.
Interesting. I'd like to try alligator. That'd be something to try. No.
I mean, The thing is, I'm allergic to shellfish, and I've never had an amphibian before. So I feel like I got to try that with like an EpiPen nearby.
Just wait. Go.
Because I know I can't have snails. But like, it would be interesting. Because I was thinking like burgers too. Like you have bison is very lean.
My friends had kangaroo.
I wonder what that tastes like.
Apparently.
I think as long as it doesn't kill you, you should. As someone with a food allergy, as long as it doesn't kill you, you should try it once. You know.
I'm
Like,
not everything. I'm like, not eating dog or cat. Draw a line somewhere.
I mean, if I had to, I would. I don't think.
I would never. No, I have a dog and I have a cat. I don't know.
I
No.
have a dog and a cat, but I mean, eventually I want to have some chickens, but I'm still gonna eat chicken.
Yeah, no.
You're hungry. You're hungry. I don't know. And, you know, it's interesting how like humans decide, like, if you're cute, we can't eat you. Like, I always find that interesting.
I mean, like I've had like blood puddings, Irish thing, right? Like that's weird.
Blood pudding. So my cousins live in Scotland. So like when we went to visit them a couple years ago, one of them was getting married, and they ate a lot of blood pudding, but it wasn't. I had it on French fries, and it was like the most delicious thing I ever had. The way it's just the way they made it. I think is you can say like, oh, that's gross, but I feel like anything made right is going to taste good. You know, I used to hate spinach when I was a kid because my mom would just boil it and put a bunch of salt on it. But once you saute that shit in garlic, it's amazing.
Cream it. Cream spinach. That's good too.
Yeah. So it's just like
Just the way you eat it, I guess.
the way you eat it.
Prepare it.
Haggis? Come on. Gross.
Eh.
But
Good try.
yeah, but if you make it right, it's good.
I mean, there's Greek food I've had that's pretty out there.
I had it was actually on Fear Factor, but it's like it's Filipino, I think. I'll have to ask Phil. But like a duck egg, and it's got like the fetus in it. And
Sorry, say it again.
it's a duck egg, and it's got like the unborn fetus of the duck. Either a duck
I don't think I could do that. No.
and I'll never forget. It was this girl's Carlene. Her it was like her birthday in high school, and a bunch of us went over her house for a party, and I think like her family owned the farm or something where they got the eggs, and the grandma was there, and apparently it was like a traditional thing. So like a bunch of it, I think they were just playing with us, and it wasn't a traditional thing, and like they just wanted to see a bunch of us kids get grossed out eating these eggs. But basically, you would you cracked the egg, they boiled them, and you cracked the egg, and then you had to like
No.
shoot it,
No. Can do it. Nope.
and it tasted like really good chicken noodle soup, to be honest with you. But the texture was like disgusting because you knew what it was, number one, and when I was eating mine, the like I was doing my eyes closed, but the eyeball of the fetus like popped out in my mouth. Like I felt it, and I started gagging, and then I go back and just like swallow it whole, like as fast as I could. But if that part didn't happen, I'd be like, oh, this is pretty good. Like I can see how you eat these.
Nope. Draw lines. I'm just gonna stick with chicken, I think.
I'm just gonna stick with chicken. But yeah, I think you gotta try everything once. You gotta see how other people live.
Different cultures.
Yeah. Don't knock it until you try it.
Fair enough.
All right. So on that note, I gotta go eat this sandwich.
All right. Sounds good.
I
I need to go watch the election, see how it turns out.
I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna watch the election. I think I'm just gonna. Because I don't think that we're gonna have a winner by tonight. That's not gonna happen.
You don't think it's going to be close?
I hope that whoever wins by a landslide, because if it's not a landslide in either direction, it's gonna just drag on and on and on. And I think no matter who wins, there's gonna be riots. And if it drags on, it's gonna be even worse. If there's uncertainty, it's gonna be even worse. So I just want to get it over with. Like, it's not good.
Well, let's hope it all ends up nice and clean and nothing happens and no one riots and it's peaceful.
I mean, I'm an optimist, but that's I don't think it's gonna happen, unfortunately.
Fair enough. All right. Enjoy your sandwich. This is fun.
It's fun talking to you.
You as well.
Come back on when you write more books and do more stuff. Have more stuff to tell me.
Awesome.
And I'm definitely gonna ask you about the action figures in the back.
They're mostly Halo, so it's like
Halo.
my childhood game.
Oh, okay.
There's
I
like a
like
Homer
these.
Simpson thing, and that's about it. The rest of them are like figures from like Halo.
Did you paint them yourself?
No, these are like,
You made?
yeah, I kind of like signed up for some box set to get some cool things and forgot to unsubscribe to it. And kept getting these toys, so I'm like, well, I paid for them, might as well keep them.
True.
I wanted a couple t-shirts they had, and that was it.
True. All right. Well, are you gonna do any gaming stuff?
Oh no, like I have an Xbox and a Nintendo, but I think I play it once every couple months. I don't have time. I gotta make YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's true. This takes a lot more time than people think.
Maybe one day I'll have time for video games. There's every now and then there's a game I really want to play. I'll make time for it, but unless I'm not, I don't have time.
I'm definitely addicted to Toon Blast. I could probably get a lot more done in my life if I stopped playing Toon Blast. But I'm not going to. All right. Well, it's nice talking to you. Is there anything else about your book or anything that I forgot that people should know?
No, you pretty much hit it.
All right. So
You want what I did? Just get the cookbook.
yeah, get the cookbook.
I lost 70 pounds.
And watch the videos and subscribe.
Subscribe. Actually, just watch the videos. I just need more people watching.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
5 hours.
How many watch hours you need?
Another 2,000. 2,000 more.
2,000 watch hours?
Is what I need.
Shit. You gotta make longer videos.
Well, my videos are only like, well, they are starting to get longer, but on average, they're like 3 minutes. But like the latest one's 5, 4. Yeah, so the last 3 videos I put out, besides the Greek potato one I did months ago, I just found the footage for it and put it out. But the last 3 recent ones I've done, they're all 5 minutes roughly. So
I feel like they need to change that metric.
it's a pretty aggressive metric, I think.
Well, I just think like if you're doing something like this, you're gonna hit the watch time a lot sooner than if your specialty is 5-minute videos. You gotta come up with something else.
There's people actually even less than that. Like their specialty is like under a minute. Like that's what, and their retention's really high because it's under a minute.
Yeah. I feel like there has to be some sort of algorithm that like could see, oh, this person does this, like, their retentions, because then you're tricking the retention too, because it's a short video. There's got to be some sophisticated algorithm that can be like, this person needs X amount of watch hours because their videos are like this, or,
Yeah.
But hopefully you hit that marker, make some money.
It's not about the money, but it'd be nice to, have some support while making these free videos.
Isn't it funny how support became like the code word for money? Like that. I really appreciate your support, which means money,
But
because
especially with us with food videos, like it's not like it costs money to do a video. It's not like sit down and we talk about something like financing where you just talk. We have to go out get product, make the product. We messed the product up. We had to redo the product. We messed the shot up. We had to redo the shot. So there is a cost to doing a food video. It may not be huge, but it adds up when you're doing 2 or 3 videos a week, right?
oh, it definitely adds up. That's why that's the thing, all my videos have to be worked into my actual food budget because I can't afford to have 2 different food budgets.
See, I'm not doing that. I'll still eat it, but like I'm probably like I'll eat all of the food. I won't waste any food. I try to like I'm not gonna make it geared towards like my recipe book because that's not what the channel's about.
Yeah. It's
So I
not-
want to be like there's fried cheese on one of my recipe. Like it's fried cheese. Can't eat that every day.
What kind of cheese are you frying?
It's feta. It's pan fried feta with spicy honey. It's really good. It's really good.
There's a
But then the spinach pies are like I'd eat those every day. Like I have no problem eating those. But like
oh, those are amazing.
there's certain things in here like the caramelized honey. I'll eat that once in a while, but honey lasts though.
Yeah, but what was I gonna say? I just lost my train of thought. Crap. I had a good question. Happens to me every podcast. Honey, oh yeah, I do eat my food budget. I have to eat because I don't have enough money to separate it out. But it's good when you can, and then you get to give it to your neighbors and shit. That's awesome.
Right? And that's what I usually give it to my aunt. If I'm not going to eat that, like I made too much of it, like I made a lot of custard the last couple of days, perfecting the recipe, like a lot of custard. And my in-laws got a lot of custard in their fridge right now, so.
How much custard?
4 liters.
That's a lot of custard.
Yeah, that's why I'm not eating all that custard. But I wanted to perfect the recipe, make sure it was good and right for people, like and easy, and I want to make sure like I did it right for people. So there's the back end people don't see. There is a process to making a recipe. Some recipes I've made so much, like the Greek spinach pies, the spanakopita. I made those so often I don't need to like perfect it because it is.
Yeah, because you know what you're doing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things like I make the Vitamix ice cream. I literally eat that stuff every day. So I didn't need to like do trial runs to make sure it was perfect. Come up with a new recipe, and this is a recipe I already developed and I already used. And same thing with like the zucchini fritters. I eat those like once a week. So.
I love zucchini.
And like souvlaki, it's like on my menu weekly. So just things like that. I eat a lot of this food. I share with people. Like I'm not just making it for making. I might eat some of it less than others. Like once in a while, like the fried cheese, I'm not eating that every week. I'll eat it as a special occasion. I like pita bread. I eat that almost every day. So I make a lot of pita bread. Yeah, I eat my food. I stand by my food.
Somebody has to. All right. I'm going to sign off for real now. But don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to subscribe to Grace's Place too. If you've made it this far, you might as well subscribe.
Give us a button. Subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up.
Thumbs up, all that stuff. I always
Just
forget.
smash that like button. Is that what they say?
Some people. I don't know. I just feel like
Or
whenever
is it Philip says spank the like button? Must have spank the like button.
yeah. I feel like I'm just like I don't have that swagger to be able to say something like that. I gotta work on I gotta figure out what my little catchphrase for that is gonna be.
I still don't even have a catchphrase for mine. Oh, I got the foodie out, I guess. So that's my catchphrase.
Yeah, there you go.
I got like that. I'm gonna start like throwing a cloth at the camera or something. Foodie out.
Yeah. That actually would be cool.
Except that it's a pretty expensive camera and I don't want to accidentally knock it over. It's not like.
Yeah, that would be bad. Well, maybe you could just film it once and then cut it in.
Yeah, maybe. Cut this part out.
Cut this part out.
Don't tell the camera magic.
Oh my god.
All right, I'll let you go to eat your sandwich. I'm gonna go make my own sandwich.
All right. Oh, you gotta make a breakfast burrito bowl.
That's tomorrow's breakfast. Tonight's souvlaki. Actually, yeah, I'm having souvlaki for supper. So.
Oh, all right. All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right, foodie out.